So at LNG Retail, we constantly reimagine our world to create brighter financial futures for a diverse range of customers at different stages of their lives with different financial needs. But in a competitive marketplace, we need to communicate with everybody on an individual level. Customers don't want to have to trawl through our website to see which product or service is best suited to them. As a trusted financial brand, it's our responsibility to bring the right offerings to our customers, whilst making sure that we do the utmost to protect their privacy and their data. We have our own custom segmentation of the UK population. It consists of 7 core segments and 16 sub-segments. This segmentation is hugely powerful for us in terms of ensuring we are targeting our products and services aligned to customer needs and their pathways through life.
Legal & General operates in a highly regulated environment where customers' privacy and security comes first. Before we invested in our customer data platform with Tealium, when a customer visited our website, for example, their anonymity meant that we couldn't treat them as an individual. We therefore could only create communications or experiences based on the expected target audience, essentially optimizing to the average. This was our key challenge: how to treat customers at the earliest opportunity as an individual, whilst fully respecting their preferences, permissions, and consents.
So a common problem that we had was that our data was captured and stored in various different secure locations but wasn't joined up. Like having all the ingredients of a cake but no means of mixing them together. By integrating Tealium CDP with LNG's marketing data zone and our single customer view, we're able to connect and leverage thousands of data points to build a rich profile and understanding of our customer and their needs. We think of this in human terms as being a good active listener. So where possible, we offer a simple customer value exchange where we ask for a small amount of personal information such as date of birth, postcode, and an email address. This helps us build out individual level profiles. From this profile and rich data, we can run machine learning models to predict the customer needs and curate differentiated experiences. In this instance, when a customer gets their quote results, they decide that they will discuss it with their partner and then exit the journey. With this quote abandonment, a customer can be allocated to a specific audience in Tealium, and we can make a prediction of which channel that the customer would prefer for a follow-up contact, even when they need it to be sent in real time. By being more responsive and being more personal with our experiences, we are better able to meet the customer needs and improve both customer and commercial outcomes.
There will always be new data sources for our teams to ingest and act upon. There will always be new channels and partners to activate our data in. Tealium currently have over 1,300 integrations and growing to help us leverage our first-party data in a privacy-first way. Our data foundation means that we can learn about the customer behaviour, their needs and intents in a continuous, iterative learning loop and help us deliver brighter financial futures for our customers. In this way, Tealium is empowering us on our journey to be a truly digital business that is data-led, tech-enabled and customer experience focused.
How amazing was that video by our long-standing customer, LNG? So I think they're here somewhere today. Thank you very much for letting us share that with you. So my name's Merinda Hillier. I'm the new VP of Marketing for Tealium. I'm really excited today, as a marketer, to talk about how can we harness all of the amazing data that we collect from our customers and drive actionable marketing insights from that. And Tealium, they've been doing that with their customers for 15 years now as the most trusted CDP, customer data platform. But I'm not going to talk about me today. I'm going to tell you a story. You might have heard a few stories today. This is a story about a guy named Noah. And guess what? Noah foresaw some wild storms coming in across the ocean, and he was really keen to weather these storms, and he knew that he needed to build an ark. He was kept up late at night thinking about how he could weather these storms. What storms were they? There were 8 different storms roaming across the sea. So the first was understanding customer behavior. Customers were also part of this storm. So the behavior had changed in the last few years. Customer behavior was becoming more unpredictable. Budgets have been reduced. So we saw a reduction of budget from 11% of share down to 6.4% last year, which was unprecedented. And this year, it's tracking at 9.5% of overall budget share, which is not really where as marketers, where we want to be for growth. Has anyone heard of the privacy paradox? We might have talked about it a few times today, a few show of hands. So this is the disconnect between the empathy that our customer wants. They want us as marketers to talk to them like we know them, we understand their needs, but they're not quite willing to give us the data that we need to be able to do that. Acquisition's getting harder, retention's getting harder, sales is getting harder, and this is because customers are risk adverse. And when they're risk adverse, it's really important then to focus on your customer loyalty programs, because as we know, you want to keep your valuable customers. Whether you're a small business or a large business, you don't want to be spending lots of money trying to acquire new ones. There is the proliferation of data touch points. You've probably spoken about this a lot today. It's not just devices, it's channels as well. So my customer might be contacting me via their work mobile, their personal mobile, their family iPad, their work laptop. There's a whole bunch of devices, and how do we connect all those data points together to create an overarching view of the customer? Efficiency. So I'm guessing if there's a lot of marketers here today, you've been asked already this year to do more with less. Anyone? Show of hands, a few smiles. So it's really important to show the value of our investments than ever before and to reduce that waste. And of course, the third-party cookie is going. We need to move towards that first-party data collection strategy. So these storms were coming through. Back to the story. Noah decided to hire 3 deputies to create an ARK to weather the storm. Now, if you hadn't guessed, Noah in this story closely resembles your head of marketing, and the ARK closely resembles a version of a customer data platform. Just bear that in mind. So he asked his 3 deputies to create an ARK built on the 3 foundations: agility, trust, and responsibility and empathy. Now, as marketers, I think we're agile by nature. It's in our DNA. We want to make sure that we're delivering the right message to the right customer at the right time. But trust is this overarching company objective, right? But in the world of GDPR, trust is all the more important for marketers because, of course, our customers, as we know, they want to know how we're collecting their data, how we're storing their data, and how we're actioning their data. And why we talk about empathy in marketing? Well, it's more than just personalization. It's about really understanding your customer and understanding what they need to deliver the relevant message that is useful for them. So there were 3 deputies, Mr. Zebra, Mr. Giraffe, and Mr. Elephant. They all built with a bit different material, but they all had the same goals in mind. And Mr. Zebra said, I'm going to build my ARK with wood. I've seen that my budgets have been reduced. I'm going to save some of my marketing budget for when the storms are over and I can use it on some fun, creative marketing initiatives. And so he thought, I'm just doing what everyone else is doing. I'm combining some data. I'm mashing it up together. I'm delivering some element of personalization. And I think that's pretty good for now. I don't have time, I don't have budget to invest in this. But of course, there were some key problems that arose with this strategy. He wasn't taking into consideration the ever-increasing amount of touch points, and soon those touch points were weighing down the ARK, and there was also lack of real-time updates, and obviously no plan for the third-party cookie loss. So this ARK sunk super quick. It wasn't going to weather the storms. Now let's take a look at Mr. Giraffe. So Mr. Giraffe saw what happened to deputy number 1 and said, actually, you know, I'm pretty good at doing all this myself. I'm going to go to my IT department. They're really great. I'm going to try and do this internally. I'm going to ask them to build me something, a data layer, for want of a better word. And, you know, they'll be able to do that. Then what I can do is outsource any inquiries I have on that data to my data science team. They can come back with the metrics, and we don't need to invest too heavily in this. So for a long time, this worked just fine. They were able to identify consumer touch points. They were reacting almost in real time, and they were able to say they were a vendor-neutral platform, which was really important to this deputy number 2. But eventually, there were some problems with this approach as well. And IT, if we think of another fable just for 1 minute, the cobbler's children. So quick summary on what happened with the cobbler's children. The cobbler was too busy to make shoes for his children because he was busy making shoes for people that would pay. And your IT department is a little bit the same, right? They service the whole business. If there's a fire over here, then sometimes marketing, may be the last priority. And so this outsourcing issue also is there's a time lag, and it's very manual. And even though this Mr. Giraffe said, I can do this all myself, by the time the batch uploads were done on a following Wednesday, guess what? The customer had already made their purchase decision 2 days earlier. So too time-consuming, not real-time enough. And of course, not having this centralized consent management meant that there was also risk in that process as well. So guess what the best result was? So deputy number 3, Mr. Elephant, said, I'm going to build my ARK with the best steel. I'm going to go to the most reputable, most trusted steel makers in the business, and I'm going to come along and build the most impenetrable ARK that we can find. And I'm really going to make this my purpose because we may not weather the storm otherwise. And what we're going to do is take all the first-party data, and we're going to collect it in one place. It's going to be in real time. And what we're going to be able to do is take all those different data touch points from our customer. We're going to unify it in one place. We're going to put insight on top of that. And then we're going to be able to give marketing actionable insights so marketing can action on that. And this was sturdy against the winds of change, and it really was the perfect ARK to weather the storm. And what they were able to do was tie together all of those data points, looking at the individual level, and then they were able to get a single view of the customer across the whole business. And what's great with this approach is that it's not just for maximizing your data, your customer acquisition. It's also helping with customer retention, because when you're, let's say, marketing and service departments are all looking at the same data, you can make decisions about the customer. Let's take an example. If there's a customer query or a customer support ticket, you can stop remarketing to them, because guess what? That's called marketing with empathy. That's allowing your customer to get the best service and best customer experience possible. So Noah looked at all of this and he said, am I still ready to give it a go? Am I still ready to set sail with this ARK? And, he wasn't sure, but really the key message here is to get started. He knew he needed to weather the storm. You know that you need data and that your organization needs to orchestrate that data. And very gradually, the business took this data-first approach and slowly came on board 2 by 2. And of course, we know that Noah saved all the animals 2 by 2, but in this situation, you're saving the company by using the data. And in this story, they all lived happily ever after. But just to look a little bit around the reasons now for investing in a customer data platform. And this is all really a story about digital transformation, right? And does digital transformation ever stop? And of course, we all know the answer is no. The customer's always changing. There's always new technologies developing. And so this is always an ongoing process. And we've got 5 key reasons here for investing in a customer data platform. The first one, of course, is protect your customer data privacy. The second is to leverage that real-time data collection. The third is to improve and maximize the capabilities of your other technology investments. The next is to do great marketing, to be able to market to the right customer at the right time, in real time. And then the last, but certainly not least, is to have that central source of customer data truth. So I want to leave you with one stat. You know, there's a lot of marketers here in the room. 87% of marketers say that their data is their most underutilized asset. So I'll leave you with that. I think we all agree it's important to work on our data strategy. But we're here today, Tealium. We've got a big booth next to the massive disco ball in the other room. Please come and join us if you have any questions. And you can get content right now. So if you want to take out your phones, scan this QR code, you'll get some amazing content, some case studies from us, and you'll also go in the chance to win a box at the Royal Albert Hall for Christmas carols, which is an amazing prize. So thank you so much for listening.